everybody. It's the women of Ouija.
Ouija, here we
Marla
are.
Martenson and
Karen Dahlman, back at you.
back at you, everybody.
We're happy boarding all the time.
I know we're having a blast, and you guys, we want to talk about something that came up in one of the Ouija Facebook groups. A question about planchettes. Why is my planchette not moving? What's going on? So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to show you some planchettes, and we're just going to have a really good time. So Karen, talk a little bit about why planchette might not move, how long does it take, and all of that stuff.
Yeah, these are great questions. We get this a lot. And I remember when I first started, I was very fortunate for it to work right away. That's not the case of everybody. But the question is, what am I doing wrong? Why it doesn't work? Will this board work? What's wrong with my planchette? What's wrong with my board? Great questions, but let's take it a step back. I would say, look at what about you and your beliefs? Where are you with allowing yourself just to kind of let go and allow this to happen? Because if you sit there and think too much about it, it really becomes a stumbling block. This is no different than a normal or everyday kind of channeling experience where people are allowing words to flow through you or inspiration to come to you or being creative in the moment. You have to kind of step aside and allow the flow of it. Now, I know that sounds so esoterical and it might sound harder than it is, but it truly is not that hard once you get the hang of it. But I will say this. I always call it the 3 Ps of the planchette. The 3 Ps. You ready for this? It's practice, patience, perseverance. Practice, patience, perseverance. So you must take the time to practice all the time. And what I mean is, why don't you try it once a week? And it helps to have the same partner when you do this, because you're building up an energy. You're building a rapport between the two of you and your tool to get it to work. Okay, so if you practice quite often, so let's say once a week for about an hour and a half, no longer. Or if you could do it 2 times a month, but be consistent with that. So have perseverance. That's the part about being consistent. Have perseverance to continue to do it. I mean, you may go, I'm not into it, it's not working. Well, if you give up too soon, it never will work. It can take a while. It's not always, but it can. And then just have the patience while you're doing the connection. When you're waiting for the energy and to connect with you, as well as the communications to come through, it really requires patience, because not only is this new for you to work on this level with this kind of vibration, it's not easy for the other realms to come back in this third dimension in this reality of manifestation and make things move. It's a lot harder for them, and that's what they tell me. It's what they tell me all the time. So they ask for our patience and just to always be respectful while you're doing it. So again, the 3 Ps to the planchette are, say it, you guys. Okay.
Patience,
Practice,
patience, perseverance.
Good. Right? Okay, we got it.
And psychic Linda Salvin, who lives here in LA, and we get together and go on the board together at her house. She always has. We sit at her dining room table, and she has the two of us sit close with our knees touching to create more energy in a circuit. So she does that as a partner.
Yeah, there's all kinds of techniques you can use, and the idea is to build that energy relationship with your partner.
Yeah.
And then so that becomes a vibration, and they reach down to your level, we reach up to their level, and we can meet somewhere in the middle, and it works. So just stick with it, you guys. I know it can be hard in the beginning. I've sat there with people. I've worked with, after 40. I'm on my 43rd year now doing this, but after so many years of doing it with many different people, what I found is everybody comes to this tool at a different level, different abilities. So it doesn't mean one's better or worse. It just means sometimes we need to just work harder at it and have more patience. So I find it might take a few sessions for some people. It might take right away. Or it could take months, and it could take a year or plus. I've worked with some people who are so determined to use it, but they used it with me for about a year and a half, and we're getting some messages, but just not really that coherent. So it really just depends. I think we ourselves become our own block to the messages and what we're going to allow to come through. So really pay attention to your own internal thinking. But again, be patient with it, and it will eventually happen if that's what you want and that's your intention.
Yeah, and you can do, when well, I'll show you the first planchette that my friend Julie and I used when
Mm.
we 2.5 years ago tried it for the first time. She brought over a couple of talking boards. We'd never used it before. I was not one of those kids that had a Ouija board as a kid. I never did. And this was like she brought it over one night, and we went into my sanctuary here, and oh, this is so exciting! Let's give this a try. And we lit candles and did our little protection prayer, and then she says, "Oh," we said, "What are we going to use for a planchette?" Because she just had these boards made. We downloaded something off the internet and had it pasted on, tack board or whatever. And so she says, "Oh, I brought this little game piece, and this is the planchette. Look at this, just little piece of wood." And we both put our finger on it, and we sat there for a minute. And is anybody here? And it started to move right away, and I was shocked. I didn't expect anything. I had never used it. I thought, is this real? And it started moving and giving us messages, spelling things right away, and it spelled out. I remember it spelled out New York City soon, NYC soon, and I was planning to make a trip in 2 months to New York to a conference, and it spelled out some people's names that I knew. It spelled out right away, and I was ecstatic. I thought, this is the most exciting thing that's ever happened to me, because this is just there's a spirit communicating.
And it's talking to me. Yes.
But you can use, like, here's another
work.
planchette that I use. Here's one that I don't use that much, but I ordered online. And then you can even use something like a little, I've used when I've been somewhere, because I was at my friend Robin's a few weeks ago, visiting her up in Washington State, and she wanted to get some messages. I didn't bring my board, so I took a piece of paper and I wrote the letters on the board, and then I said, I just grabbed a coin from her, stuff, or a little round something or other, button or a coin, and you can use anything. You can use your finger. I use my finger.
You've done that before.
The
You
energy
your
comes
finger.
through. I did it sitting in the Barcelona airport. We're waiting for our plane. It was delayed, and I said, "Oh, I think I'll get some messages for my angel." And I wrote out the letters on a piece of paper, and it moved my hand. The energy came through. My husband, of course, was kind of mortified. He's like, "What if people see you? What are they going to think?" But nobody was paying attention to me. But he's like, "Oh my God, this is so embarrassing."
She's sitting in the terminal doing the Ouija board.
Yeah, exactly. But
why not? Listen, it does work, and I use all different kinds of things. I'm like Marla. If I don't have a board, I take a paper sack, and I've been known to do that many times. And I just take this Pyrex dish and I turn it over, and that becomes my planchette, and it moves really nicely, so you can see through the middle too.
Yeah.
A really cool idea is this. Somebody brought this to my attention. If you can see that, this is from the old CDs, right? And it was the thing on top that kind of keeps them together, and it's clear. You put your hands on that, and just woo, away it goes, and you've got an indicator in the middle. I love that. This is another one I use. Who doesn't have a shot glass at their house? Have a shot and then play a little. No, don't mix those kind of spirits.
We don't
mix these
like
spirits
we
and
don't
these spirits.
we don't suggest drinking alcohol while
Not
you're
at all. I mean, that's just a joke.
Yeah.
Get it? Anyway, so we take this and upside down again. Your fingers on there, and you've got a little indicator, and you can see what letter it's over. Look, money works great.
Yes.
Money works fabulous. A quarter, if you've got something bigger than that, a silver dollar. And as Marla said, too, just a flat stone. Something light, something flat that can move. There you go. And hers has a little message on it.
Vibes Up. It's a company called Vibes Up.
Oh, yeah, I know Vibes Up.
Vibes
Sure.
Up. You guys got to check out Vibes
You can put your own little message on here. Those little pet rocks back in the 70s. Maybe people don't know about the pet rocks. But we had them in the 70s. Anyway, all kinds of things work. But just, again, remember your 3 Ps, which is practice, patience, perseverance, and you too soon shall be working the board. Happy boarding, you guys.
Happy boarding. Let us know what happens.